just read these reviews and ask yourself, why am I not signed up for Dan's podcast yet? Go to patreon.com/thisisdanbell and sign up today. Thank you. Hey everyone. I think we could all use a little quiet time. So go ahead, sit back, put on your headphones and relax. And come along with me as we take a tour of two ghost towns that I visited back in 2016. Now, my archive is currently being rated for new material to put onto this channel, the Film It channel. And so I'm very excited, actually, and enthusiastic about being able to share this footage with you. And especially in this particular format, because so many people seem to derive a lot of pleasure out of listening to me talk in a silky smooth, hushed voice while walking around through these different places. So I'm very excited and happy, and I hope that we can continue this, because people do seem to enjoy it, and I do take much joy knowing that this helps people with anxiety, helps people to sleep, helps people to relax. These are all things I struggle with as well. So it makes me feel good that you're here and you're using this as a way to unwind and relax. So let's get started. This village that we're looking at here is called the Henry River Mill Village, I believe. It's in North Carolina. It began as a mill back in 1904. And I believe their major product was textiles. So the people who worked at the mill would have lived in these homes. And some of these homes are well over 100 years old and still standing. And you'll see inside some of these homes that the materials used to build them were actually just taken from the land, which is so interesting. But this is one place it's frustrating to see graffiti and things like that, but it was sort of really magical to see a place like this that had no graffiti. Now, from my understanding, this particular town was abandoned sometime in the 70s, or perhaps before. And there are plans to restore it and bring it back to its original splendor as a historical museum. And here we are headed into the mountains. We're going to have a look at the town of Elkmont, Tennessee, which is located in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. And this building you're looking at right here is called, or was called, the Wonderland Club. It was formed in 1919 and was a place where people in high society could come to the mountains for a retreat. And we're going to go in and have a look around inside, because this place is pretty cool. Now here you have a grand room with a giant, beautiful rock fireplace just to the left here. There it is. So this room probably could have been a room where you had a place to sit and socialize, have a drink, that kind of thing. As you can see, this building is being overtaken by nature. I'm not sure when the Wonder Club actually closed, but it would appear that it's been decades that it's been uninhabited. And you can see all the water damage and up into the second floor. It's pretty bad. But going further down the hallway, as we'll do right now, you'll see a change. You'll actually see some rooms that are still intact. And you can kind of feel that old-time southern mountain lodge kind of feeling. And I really like that. It's very much like The Shining almost. Because that's what these rooms were. They were hotel rooms where people could come and get away from the city and go up to the mountains and enjoy themselves. And the land surrounding the Wonderland Club is so beautiful. The landscape, the valleys, the gorges. You just hear wind and the river and birds. And it's just stunning. So we're having a look here in some of the other rooms. And I found that it was really quite interesting that some of the more dilapidated rooms, you know, the way the light came in, it was just something very, very calm and peaceful about it. Now this is one of the original houses, the small houses that were on the hill by the Wonderland Club. And they called it Society Hill. So highfalutin people would come in and they would stay in these homes, and you would have everything taken care of like you were staying at a hotel. So a nice getaway. You could go fishing or hunting. And we're just getting a little peek here into the past. Because this kind of stuff, I mean, it's still around, but it's just not like it was back in the day when you read about, you know, every day you'd get up and you'd have a menu for the day. And they'd serve you breakfast, lunch, dinner. And it was a big event, you know, to have dinner, especially a big event. And people would get dressed up and walk from their cabins over to the dining hall at the Wonderland Club. Very old school. Not many places that do that anymore, if any. So these old houses have just some of them have completely collapsed after being abandoned for, as I said, decades. Some of the clips in this video that are coming up, I cringe because I just think to myself how stupid it was to walk along some of these walkways that were up above, you know, like a river gorge. And the old wood and everything out there is just rotting away. Everything's wet. You'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. But this place was absolutely beautiful. such a peaceful, quiet, beautiful place to go. And when you get out there, you get up into that beautiful, fresh mountain air, it like wakes you up, wakes up your senses, and it just feels so good. Too bad they can't bottle that air or give it to you in like a container. You can inhale it when you need a pick-me-up from the grimy towns and cities that we all live in. And here's inside one house that you couldn't even get inside because the hall or the porch that led into the house was completely rotted away. Here's another view down into the gorge. This house here was really falling apart, and you can see the porch there is really collapsed in. Takes a very long time for that kind of decay to occur, but you also have to remember that, oh, here's the part I talked about where I was cringing. Not worth it, but I did it anyway. And there's my $14 Walmart shoes that I buy in bulk. I literally go to Walmart and I'll buy 5 pairs of those $14 shoes. And so when I'm on a trip like this, if I step in mud or the shoe gets ripped or something happens, I have a new pair in the trunk. It's worked out very well for me. Big money saver instead of wearing, like an expensive pair, or not expensive, but, a pair of boots or something. Whatever you step in, you have to clean it off. With these shoes, you just throw them away and put on a new pair. It's a good deal. And here's a shot inside one of the house with the little walkway outside. And you can see that a lot of water damage. You have to understand these houses are very old, so a lot of the lumber that was used to build them is local lumber, that was taken from the forest, and none of it is treated, so it actually decays and falls apart a lot faster than more modern lumber, which is treated, so it doesn't get soaked with water and immediately turn to mush. So that explains a lot of the damage and collapse that you see in these particular homes. But you can imagine that wouldn't be a bad place right there to have your windows open, sitting up there looking out the window with fresh air. Oh, it would be so nice. Now, the national park, I don't know what their plan is with these buildings. I guess they're just going to leave them, or I don't know. I don't know if they have any plans. But I haven't been up there in a while, long time, so I really don't know if these are just sitting there like they were, or if there's a plan of action. I did hear from somebody that they were going to tear them down, so it's hard to say what the future holds for these properties, because at this point they're just some of them are just beyond the point of bringing them back or building something in their place or restoring them. I love all the moss that grows up in the mountains and how it grows down like that. It reminds me of like out in the Pacific Northwest. We're winding down here. I just want to thank you all for tuning in and listening and coming along on this little adventure. And please keep your eye out, because I'll have another one very soon. Thank you for watching.